Everyone, what's going on? My name is DANGHEESLING, and welcome to the Gamejolt Game Jam, where we get a chance to sit down and play the 3 winning games from the past Game Jam, which was provided by Gamejolt. So if you have no idea what a Game Jam is, over the past roughly 10 days, the developers had 10 days to create a multiplayer party game, which when you see these games will completely blow your mind that they're able to do this in 10 days. But I'm going to bring on the head of Gamejolt to explain it a little bit better. Yaprock, welcome.
Hey everyone, I'm Yaprock the Carmine, the co-founder and CEO of Gamejolt. I'm really excited to be here and help show off these awesome games. A little bit about ourselves. Gamejolt is a social community platform made up of gamers and creators, whether they're playing or making games or creating fan art and playthrough videos of the biggest games. So we've built an incredible community of artists, developers, musicians, and content creators. So if you're bored with existing social media platforms, check out the stuff these talented people are creating on Gamejolt. And then to dive in and tell you a little bit about Party Jam. So we hosted Party Jam with Amazon Web Services and BeMobile. AWS cloud services help game developers of all sizes build fun, innovative experiences, and 90% of the largest public game companies actually run on AWS. So like any game you've heard of probably uses AWS. And BeMobile makes creating multiplayer games incredibly easy. So the idea here was developers in the US had 10 days to create a social multiplayer party game. We set up a prize pool totaling $8,000. We had AMAs from Jackbox Games talking about game design, and Dean Carter, who's the co-founder of the Fable franchise, who's turned indie dev. And yesterday, these 3 winners had a session with Rowan Parker from Riot Forge on how to pitch their games for additional funding. So on Monday, they'll actually meet with the biggest publishers and gaming funds like Amazon Game Studios, 505 Games, Exola, and Griffin Gaming Partners to pitch their games. And now, these 3 winners get to play their games on the front page of Twitch with you, Dan, which is the best prize.
Well, I'm honored, I'm honored when you thought of me. But Yaprock, I have a question for you real quick, because just you talking about this party jam, this game jam, like you can tell you're really excited about this. Why is this so exciting for you? Like, where does this passion come from for you to essentially give these developers a platform and then connect them with potentially, these resources that can move them to the next level or their games to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest games, right, that are super popular aren't always those huge, massive franchises, right? You can look at the success of Among Us and Fall Guys over the years. So I think fostering indie developers' creations is key. And what I've learned running a platform of just creators, right? Like individuals creating art, videos, games, whatever, is that they don't always understand or know how to get visibility or, funding for their projects. So this whole jam was created around the idea of introducing them to, what goes on in the background of building a game, right? It's not enough anymore to just build an incredible game. You literally have to pitch it to publishers and like Silicon Valley investors, which is like no one would know that. So this was our way of introducing, how games actually get made, whether you're indie or not, to our entire game developer audience on Gamejolt.
Well, it's really exciting because, as a fan of indie games, there's some that you play, we played one yesterday and you're like, you didn't know about it. You just don't know that there's so many great games out there. And I think it's really cool for Gamejolt to bridge that gap, and what you've done, with this party jam to give these developers, the exposure, and also not just that, but the resources behind. So I'm really excited to jump into these first games. But Yaprock, thank you so much for putting this together, and I think everyone's going to be really excited to see what these developers have done in 10 short days. All right, let's do this. So we're going to jump into the first game real quick. I just wanted to share with you guys the the calendar, right? So they had like from the start date of June 21st to July 1st, they had 10 days to make a game. Like that's art, that's sound, that's design, it's a multiplayer game. So you know, the networking or the back end code. So we're gonna jump into this first game here. And this game is called Swashbucklers. And we're excited to have the devs on here. So they're actually playing with us right now. And we have, let me make sure I have this correctly. Kieran, are you on here with me?
I am.
Kieran,
yeah.
So you are, I mean, there's a bunch of masterminds, but you're one of the masterminds behind this game. Can you tell us what Swashbucklers is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we wanted to make a multiplayer game that combines some elements of Splatoon and also like a little bit of Sid Meier's Pirates. So you're controlling these pirate ships around the water, and you're trying to paint the most surface of the water while also trying to deal with the other ships that are sailing around you.
So you made this game in 10 days. Can you talk about how many people worked on this?
Yeah, so we had a team of 6 total, including myself. So I did design and 3D art, as well as just sort of the coordinating and animation as well. We had one sound designer, that's Zach Buckley. We had a guy doing tech art, so he was sort of working on the shaders, like making the water look as beautiful as it does. That was Steve. Steph did our character design and sort of like our 2D art direction. And then we had 2 programmers, Alvin and Patrice.
So how many people in total worked on this game?
Just the 6 of us.
Okay, so 6 people. So what you guys are seeing right now, so the goal of this is, because we played this yesterday, is so I'm the purple pirate. You want to have as much purple paint exposure on the map as possible, and you can see that in the top middle of the screen with the score. We're getting destroyed by the devs right now. But can you talk about, you know, beyond just painting, like, can you talk about the other ways that one could win in this game, Kieran?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you go around the water, you leave a little trail behind you in the water. So that's one way to color the surface of the water, is just to drive around the map. Another way is that you have a paint cannon on the back of your ship, and you can fire the paint cannon using your right stick on your gamepad. And so hitting the surface of the water with your paintballs will paint the surface. And then finally, when you take out other ships, if you hit them with your paint cannon, it deals them damage. And if you deal them enough damage, they explode, and they'll cover the surface with the water with the color of the person that took them out.
Okay, so we got dead last on that one, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk. We're gonna play again, but can you talk about? I mean, this is an extremely polished game. You know, it's definitely a proof of concept in 10 days. Can you talk about some of the challenges that you encountered trying to create a finished, playable multiplayer party game in 10 days?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest challenge when it comes to multiplayer games is game balance, right? Because you have to incorporate all the players playing together. It has to seem kind of fair and also fun to interact with other players. So, you know, game testing a single player game, you can kind of boot it up and do it on your own. You don't have to account for those other variables. But when multiplayer happens, there's a lot of interactions that happen between players, and it has to seem fun. And I think it's tough getting that balance down.
So what are some of the balance issues you ran into and some of the corrections you made in your window of 10 days to me, that just blows my mind. You know, the fact that you can create this in 10 days, you know, you and your team. But what was like one of the balance issues that you ran into? You're like, okay, we have to change this immediately.
Yeah, I think some of the first big changes that we made were the size of the map. You know, just like what was the right size. We started off with an area that was too big, I think, and so you didn't really you couldn't feel like you had enough of an effect on the game because you couldn't paint enough surface. Also, the ships started out a lot quicker than they are right now, and that made it a lot harder to like hit players and interact with other players on the map. And so those were 2 of the big balance issues that we dealt with right away.
Okay. And then when you're developing a game like this in a you know, such a short period of time, how much you know, like feature creep is there? Like you guys are working on it and someone on the team says, oh, it'd be great if we could put this in the game. How do you manage that? And is there anything that you didn't plan for initially that someone came up with and said, hey, this would be cool to put in the game?
Absolutely. That's a big thing in game jams in general, is just making sure that you don't bite off more than you can chew. And it definitely happened with this game too. Like we had some really cool ideas that we wanted to get in, but you just can't do it in 10 days. One of the things we were talking about is the concept of having the level tilt. So, it's like balanced so that if, you have all the ships over on one edge of the map, it actually weighs down the map in that direction, which is a super cool idea. It could lead to really fun gameplay, but you got to stick with something that's a stable build that works. And then if you have extra time from there, you build out from there.
Okay. So in terms of your vision for this game, which by the way, if you guys, you can play this right now, you go !, Game Jam in the chat. And, if say you had another 60 days to work on this game, where would you, are there things that you would put in
Yeah,
beyond the tilting?
We've talked about some of those, pie in the sky, like what's the perfect game that we want to make and other things we want to add. We've talked about adding more levels, having like themed levels and stuff like that. Having more pirate captains that you can choose from, some of those little things. And then also like some of those big features we were talking about, like the tilting levels, having other game modes, like just a free paint mode would be really cool. And then also adding in like superpowers for the pirate captains so that you get like a special like launch attack. That would be pretty awesome.
And then, so ultimately for your dream or ambitions for Swashbucklers, like is for you, do you feel like you could take this game and build upon it and have it be released on Steam, or is this for you, is that this kind of a conceptual game for you, or is this part of like a piece of another puzzle? Like, do you think you could iterate on this, given the funding and the exposure, or would this be a piece of like a greater party game for you?
No, I see this having enough legs to sort of exist on its own. Like you look at other games like Ultimate Chicken Horse or Gang Beasts, or other sort of party games where you get together and play with friends or online with friends. I think this game definitely has a lot of ways in which it could go and we could explore that could make it a really, really fun game. And like those features that I was just talking about are ways that we could explore in this game a little bit more.
Got it. And so for you, so you have 10 days to develop this game. I can't imagine for you it's something where you're like, oh, I'm just going to work on it a couple hours every day for 10 days. Can you talk about what that process was like for you and your team? I mean, is it DEFCON 1? Are you guys scrambling? Is there, metrics you have to hit every day? How do you even begin to organize a game like this?
I think we start off by talking about scope and being realistic about that scope. And then with it being a game jam and us sort of having different lives, like some people are full-time indie, some people like me have a day job, and you're sort of doing this like after your normal day job, so it is working in the evenings on it. And also I'm getting older and I have a kid. Like I can't do like 24-hour sessions, no sleep anymore, right? So I think being upfront and transparent about your availability and your commitment to the project is good and healthy for a game jam. And then just working from there and just being like, all right, we only have X amount of time to work on it. We need to scope down to make sure that we can get this done in the amount of time we have available.
Just because I'm nosy, what is your day job?
I'm a toy sculptor, actually. I work for a company called Funko.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do they know that you took place in this party jam?
Yeah, they're pretty cool about letting us explore creative things on the side. So that's pretty awesome. Like they know that I'm interested in game development, and this is a big hobby of mine. So
Swashbucklers Funko soon, confirmed?
One can only hope. Man, it would be great if we got like a deal on a platform, and then I'm getting to make toys for my own game. That'd be the...
So when people are seeing this game, and you as the developer, what do you hope for the player to experience when they go to the ! Game Jam, click on the link, and they play it for the first time? What is your dream goal that person experiences when they're playing this for the first time?
I think just elation, just like the idea of like getting together with friends, sitting on the couch, playing a game together, and just having that chaotic excitement that comes from having a multiplayer couch experience. Like I want people to genuinely want to get together and play this game with each other and just have a really good time.
So, and you mentioned earlier, you said that this game was definitely influenced by Splatoon, but you also mentioned another game. Yes. For us, the OG throwbacks, you said Sid Meier's Pirates. Can you tell us a little bit about how that impacted your development on this game and what Absolutely. Sid Meier's Pirates is? Because most people probably may not know about it.
Sid Meier's Pirates is an old game. You know, there's lots of games that Sid Meier made in his studio, but Sid Meier's Pirates is an old game in which you play a swashbuckler. Sorry, I'm getting that confused now. You play a pirate that's sort of coming up in the Caribbean, and you're going and you're taking over territory. You're going on quests, but then a big part of the game is also this transit that happens between islands in which you're sailing your ships, and you can get into battles with other ships on the high seas. And I really love that aspect of the game. It's really fun whenever you get into a battle with another pirate ship and you're sort of like shooting off your cannons and you're circling in around them and stuff. And there was a really, really fun element that happened with that kind of gameplay. And I feel like that is something that I tried to capture with this. And I think our team did a really good job of bringing over what made that fun into our game jam.
Yeah. And so as we wrap things up here, and I'm just trying to wrap it up on a first place victory, but as we wrap things up, what do you think is next for Swashbucklers? So, you know, you won this party jam, so you guys won and got first place. What is next for this? You know, and especially for people who are watching right now and have no idea about, you know, the game development business, what are the next steps for you?
Yeah, I think we're sort of defining what that pie in the sky vision of this game could be, like where we could take it from here, like what we were talking about before. And then the meeting with publishers that's going to happen on Monday is going to be a big thing as well.
Are you nervous?
To them. Oh yeah, of course, like a little bit nervous, but also excited and interested in that process. And yeah, I think it's really just determining, you know, what that vision of the game is that we want to see. And then also seeing what kind of interest is out there in publishers.
Well, I'm just looking at the reaction in chat. Everyone's really excited about this game. I had a ton of fun playing this, and you know, especially when you get first place, it feels a little bit better. But this has been a lot of fun, and you know, we wish you nothing but success. If you guys want to check out Swashbucklers, go ! Game Jam in the chat right now. You can play it right now for free. And for people that want to follow the rest of the Swashbucklers journey, Kieran, what's the best way for people to keep an eye on this game?
Absolutely. If you go to our Gamejolt page, you'll see, if you scroll down in the description, you'll see all the people that worked on the game. I was just a small part of it. The rest of the team did an amazing job bringing it together. We have all of our social media contacts up there, and we'll be posting through there if we continue to do work on the game. And then from there, we might, you know, branch off into the game's own social media channels, but we'll see how that goes.
Awesome. If you don't mind too, Kieran, can you comment in the chat and drop your Gamejolt specific page so we can continue to blast that throughout the rest of the show? But thank you so much for coming on, and thanks to the devs that were also behind the scenes playing. I want to give them a shout out as well. Elvin and Patrice, we played against, and they're married. They're big fans of Monkey Island as well, which we didn't get to talk about, you know, the pirate Monkey Island deal, but they did programming. And also ZW Buckley we played against, who did the music and sound design for this game. And ZW Buckley's favorite game of all time is a tie between Final Fantasy VIII, and chat's gonna love this, Persona 3. So that's Swashbucklers, ladies and gentlemen. Kieran, thank you so much for coming on, and really excited. So that's just one of 3 games we're going to be able to check out today. So that was Swashbucklers. Make sure to go check it out. You can download it right now, play it for free, play it locally. Game Jam in chat for the link. So big thank you. And to me, it's just incredible that, like, it's a finished game in 10 days that works. So you can play it, have fun with your friends. I mean, look, we played some games on the show that have been commercial releases that weren't as fun as that. That's a whole nother story. But that's Swashbucklers, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to bring on the second game of the afternoon, Suboptimal. So I'll give you a little background on Suboptimal, especially when you see it. You're going to be like, oh, like, I get this. You know, it's familiar. So Suboptimal is like the game Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, except it's in, and I always mess up the title, except it's underwater. So like that's like the easiest first grade explanation. And we're gonna jump into it right now with the dev known as Swagshaw. Swag, are you there?
Yo,
what's going on?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I've been loving all of this.
I've been loving all this. I mean, it's just been amazing to me to see what everyone's been able to do in such a short amount of time. Can you tell us about this game and where you started with this and how you got it to fruition?
Yeah, I think I want to start off by saying it's really the team that made this possible. We're a team of 10. We've been like going under the handle of Dynamite Stew because we have so many people that are just like experts that are conglomerating together. We basically did a practice round with GMTK with 15 people, then boiled it down to 10. And
hold on real quick. Red, shoot. Red guy, get on there, shoot him. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Can you explain the game real quick before we get into the history? Yeah.
So you're on navigation right now. We have a couple of different stations. There are drills that interact with barriers. We got a map right up here with the scope, cannons. We got sonar in the corner. The whole experience right now is like there's 4 mini bosses and then a final boss. There's a lot of environment to pursue. When we were making this, we bit off as much as we could chew, which is like, so this is an online multiplayer. From the team's skill sets, we actually have a fair amount of experience doing something like this. So we aimed at it like that. Nice. It's I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It blurred by really quickly when we were making the game. We spent an entire day on deliberating what an online multiplayer party game would be, and we kind of ended up on the fact that Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time wasn't online multiplayer, and it hadn't been, of course, underwater. And we thought, how to explore that.
Real quick, I want to pause you real quick because I know there's people like trying to just figure out what's going on. So real quick, we're playing this online right now. I am the yellow, you could call it like submarinist. I am controlling the watercraft. There is someone controlling that looks like a net, but that's like a shield. There's someone that can control weapons, and then there's a drill. You saw us go through there and we drilled the like the force field. And then on top of that, there's one more location up here, and that is the map. So the concept of the game, to be successful, you have to take out 4 mini bosses and then the big boss. We played this yesterday, and
Yes.
we have some work to do, but I just wanted to explain the concept, and this is all online, so I'm gonna throw it back to you, Swag. But so this is a little bit different because the last game we played was local multiplayer. This is online multiplayer, and you had to do it in 10 days. Can you talk about some of the biggest challenges in developing an online multiplayer party game in 10 days, like specifically for this game?
So yeah, actually one of the biggest challenges is actually we approached making the submarine first. The environment kind of came very quickly after that.
Oh, those are blobfish, right? Is that what they're yeah, those are cute. Sorry. Okay, keep going. So you're talking about how do you program a multiplayer game in 10 days?
It's a lot of play testing.
Okay.
You do what you can. I'm not actually a programmer, so I can't specifically speak for them, but like I communicate enough with programmers that I understand that, like, you're writing the code to begin with, and then it comes down to, all right, so I've written it, but I've never play tested it. Can you guys jump into the game on like this like first version?
Shoot him!
Thing?
Sorry. Someone shoot that guy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to be yelling orders, but I'm like, we're trying to get to this mini boss too. All right.
We got to get there.
Can we? I don't know if we, okay, let's just leave them then. Maybe nicely. Who's
Nice.
on the drill? Can I you know, if I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna also give you proper daps. Who just drilled that? All right, I'm waiting on your name. Okay. So anyways, all right. So back to the game. So a lot of play testing. When you decided to do this, like this is definitely a little bit different, right? So have you had anyone go through? Have you guys beaten the game?
Yeah, so towards I think the third day we had most of the game built. It was a lot of debugging at that point.
Okay.
Online multiplayer is just it's a pain. Sometimes just to make something. By the way, on navigation you're going to be going up and to the left.
Well, thank you. Can I ask you can you translate a message to the gunners for me? Could you just tell that? Could you just tell them to shoot, please? No. So I could see, like, when you guys play this, talk about the social dynamic when you guys play tested this. Did you find that some people were better as captains? Was it a team up? Like when you're trying to beat this, how did you have the most success? Someone being the captain and respectfully barking orders, or was it, hey, watch this, there's a dagger that's about to destroy us, don't worry about that lanternfish, can you please move the shield to the bottom right? Like, how did you what kind of like social gameplay did you see come out from your team?
I mean, I think you're capturing it perfectly. Is it can be really dynamic, and that's you know that's why we really wanted to lean into it. Is in a party environment, like we don't have to worry about the interactions that are happening. They're just being created. Can you go up just a little bit? And,
yeah.
Let's see here.
Nice.
There we go.
Nicely done. Nice job, Blue. Nice job.
Yeah.
So you took some inspiration on this game from Lovers. I never know the full name of it. Can you tell me like what you liked about it? And you said, okay, hey, look, we really like this game, but we want to do this a little bit different. And in 10 days, can you talk about?
Yeah. So I mean, you know, looking at Lovers, it actually has a lot of accessible things about it. You know, just going down to game design, it has core things. You know, you have combat, you're moving, you have a shield, and then like there's some really neat things that happen with a ship where there can be upgrades. And for a game jam, we weren't able to hit upgrades, but we had talked about that as something that we wanted. We definitely, in the concept of like being scared of scope, we should have been more scared. Nice. That's the first key.
Yeah, so we just picked up a boss. So we need all 4 keys to get to the big boss, right?
Got it.
Okay. So you said that you weren't scared of, you know, biting off more than you could chew. So it wasn't enough for you to develop a multiplayer party game. You're like, we want to do it online too.
Yeah, basically, we're not scared because we worked together before. It's really nice to have that kind of trust with people and like know their skill sets. And like so I'm directing with another person. Their name's Curdle, and like we both have, in fact, most of the team members, if not everybody, has a lot of jam experience. So we're all experienced in like making games quickly. So when assembling teams, I just try to trust that we all are like probably way more qualified than we need to be to do something so insane. Have you ever heard of like the idea is if you don't tell somebody it's difficult, they'll actually do it a lot better than if you get them worried to begin with.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, this should probably be developed in 30 days. You knew that in your head, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna tell the team that.
Exactly. You know, like I think there's so much to say about trusting the people that you're with that it shows that we were able to make such a large game in that amount of time.
So a quick couple questions for you on this. What didn't make the cut on this game? Like, I know you mentioned upgrades. So what would the upgrade system would have looked like if you had the time and resources to add it into an online multiplayer game that was developed in 10 days.
Yeah. So you'll notice that we have the drills interacting with barriers, but we also wanted there to be resource management where like you could destroy some of the environment, get like collectibles, and then you could use it to upgrade the ship. We had also tossed around the idea of that resource being used as a way to heal the ship as well. Kind of like this double gambit that you had to talk to your team with. It's like, are we going to upgrade the ship, or are we gonna heal it?
You have different cosmetics in the level.
Yeah.
I mean, and different music.
Yes, we have an amazing music team. They knocked it out of the park. I don't even know how they work that quickly. We had somebody actually who had to drop out a couple of days in due to some health concerns, and thankfully they hadn't made any music assets at the time. They just kind of were like prepping some stuff, and we were still thinking about the concept. We spent the entire first day on the concept, by the way.
Yeah, tell me about the design process. So the first 24 hours you said you spent on the design process. What did that look like?
Yeah, so we what is it? We have because we're such a large team, we do have people designated into roles. While everybody does have experience in multiple facets of game design and game development, we had to specifically say, all right, these people are in charge of making choices for the game. But now, granted, that also meant like we were able to listen to everybody inside of the team, but we have to leave these final choices down to the people who are the most experienced for scope. And so when we were talking for 24 hours, the issue was we had good ideas. We all had strong ideas that we wanted to hold on to. And we were not only either believing in, but considering, what does this do in the aspect of the game jam? Are we making something that feels right and feels super enjoyable? And I'm trying to think. 10 days and like a week ago feels like almost like a year at this point. I'm trying to think what we had as some of our original ideas.
Did you start with, hey, lovers in a dangerous space time? What is that? What is the name of the game? Did you start with that concept and everyone was like, yes, we're doing this? Or were there other concepts that were being thrown around?
Lovers in a dangerous space time really started to stick when we were mentioning it. It was really when we talked about it with this skin of being underwater that it really started to like take off in what it could be. The benefit of modeling this after Lovers in Dangerous Spacetime is that the game already exists, and there's elements that we can look at and say they were successful in. And what can we do to emulate that? What could we do in time to make it different? I suppose one of the easiest ways to put it is that because we had a blueprint to follow, we in some ways we felt more secure, but we didn't, of course, want it to be a carbon copy either.
Right. So when you're doing this, can you how many people worked on this game?
10.
Okay, so 10 people. For people that have never developed a game like myself, are you on Slack? Are you on Discord? Like, how do you keep track of all the assets, all the audio, how do you even begin to organize that, like physically on the back end? What tools do you use?
Yeah, 100%. Discord is like our go-to. It's super important. When we were doing this, basically everybody was able to commit full time. Actually, let me before I get into that a little bit more. Let me navigate you a bit. You're going to the right.
Just hard right here.
Yeah, hard right.
Real quick, and just a quick reminder, if you go !Game Jam, this is suboptimal. It's the second link, so you can download this and play this right now. Okay, so we're talking about organization of 10 people, 10 days, online multiplayer game, assets, graphic assets, programming, music, as we get into this like tropical theme. I'm about it right now.
So Discord was a indisposable asset. We were able to communicate quickly, effectively. We also use Google Drive. We learned from the last jam that we were in that if assets, like sound files and like the game images aren't being saved in a spot where everybody can find it. Like if somebody's saying on Discord, "Hey, where is it in chat?" We're spending more time looking up where that is instead of instead of actually making the game. So we made sure we were using Google. We had some checklists and spreadsheets that we were using from Google Excel, or I guess it's called Google Spreadsheets. But we all basically were in voice chat as much as possible. We were able to commit more than full time on this game while we were making it.
So when you say full time for you, 10 days, whoa. What does that look like? What did an average day look like to you?
An average day, I was spending 12 to 16 hours. On the last day, I actually did a solid 24. I know it sounds insane.
I didn't say it. You said it. But like, was it just the final couple hours? Do you remember 100%. What were the final couple hurdles? And was there any times you're like, man, I don't know if we're gonna make it, but I can't tell everyone we're not gonna make it?
Oh man, you nailed that. Yeah, there were a couple of bugs at the last part, and I just wanted to see it fixed as much as possible.
Just fix it.
And so I yeah. But like there was a time where like it was we were done. There were bugs that weren't necessarily killing the game, but it definitely could have run the experience. And so there was a time where nobody could program because they were just sleeping. And so I was on just like trying to get everything around it polished, and then the like last 2 hours that I had stayed up for, let's see here with the barrier, yeah, you got it. With the last 2 hours, we had a programmer who came on, and I talked to him about I think 3 features that needed to be fixed.
Can I ask some? So you're not a programmer, correct?
I'm not a programmer.
Okay, so when you're like, when you have to, so you see something's broken, and you have to tell them like, hey, fix this. I know you don't say it like that. Like, how do you communicate it if you're like, hey, this doesn't work?
That's normally one of the best ways to go about it. We every day, almost ranging from on like how far we were in to the game, was like we were updating the priorities of what we needed to make. Like what we started off with making the cannons and guys running around the ship, and then we immediately realized that like the ship looked like it jittered a lot when it moved, and so we had to address that, and that actually took up quite a large amount of time. When it came down to bugs, it was quick iteration. We knew what was needed. We have one last key.
Oh,
you're going to the left and down.
Okay. So basically, you just say, hey, fix it, and then they fix it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe definitely towards the end. That last 2 hours, those last 3 things, I was like, I'm gonna take a nap, and I'm gonna give you all the support you need after I take that nap. But these are the three things that we need. And you know, after 10 days, we're able to trust each other, even with frustration on like what's happening. You know, a lot of times there were aspects of discussion, but again, that's mitigated by the fact that we had team leads, people who are making decisions. Are the people that are making the choices about, all right, this needs to be fixed, this is a feature, you know, this is something that we can do, this is something that we can't do.
I got let me ask you this. So for Suboptimal, so for this game that people can download right now, the exclamation point Game Jam, completely for free, they can play it online.
Yeah.
When someone fires this up for the first time, you know, with three of their buddies or friends, what is you and the team's goal? Like what do you want them to experience the first time they play this?
Oh man, I think there's a good sense of wonder that we're encouraging with such a large map. Of course, we want you to just like strap in for a little bit. This is about a, I don't know, we've described it as a 15 to 30 minute experience, maybe 15 if you're like trying to speed run it.
Blockers up top, please. Blockers up. Oh, never mind. You're the champion. I am a faulty captain. Okay, good block. So like 15 to 30 minutes depending on the speed run. And then like what are some of your fondest memories of the party jam, either playing or developing? When you walk away from this and you're like, okay, we released the finished product. Outside of that, like what were some of the fondest memories you'll have from this experience?
I would say this is about game development in general. Is you know, whenever you're creating something and you see it materialize in front of you, there's nothing more amazing than that. It was like on day 7 we had something that looked really nice, and we were able to like we all wanted to just like play test it, and then it ended up turning into an entire speed run. Or yeah, well, not necessarily a speed run. Oh no, are we stuck?
No, we got this. I just need my shield guy to just calm. Just Mr. Shields or Mrs. Shields, please just take it easy. We can get through this. Yeah, give me a little boost, little bit. Yeah, it's teamwork. Nice. Okay.
Nice. Oh man, where was I? It's making a game, making anything, and seeing it come alive. You know, day 7, we wanted to just like bug test it, and we had like the full game in it, and so like just 4 of us jumped in. All of a sudden, he's like, "Hey, are you playing?" And then
that's a great block.
Like
sorry.
It turned out to be a full experience, and we just like we had this moment of like sighing relief that all the work was paying off. And I think that's one of the most confirming things as like a developer, is like seeing your vision come to life. There's nothing quite like it.
So let me ask this, as we wrap things up here, what is next for Suboptimal? What in your vision, in the perfect world, what would be the next steps of things that happen with this game?
So there's a few things. You know, this is an online multiplayer exclusively right now. The concept of either it being single player or local multiplayer, but also quite possibly a versus mode, and Twitch integration. We like the idea of chat being able to prevent healing or heal the player.
Could I petition
upgrades?
Could I petition against chat blocking healing? As a streamer, I'd be firmly against that. But speaking of being firmly against, we've got all 4 keys. The end boss is right down here. But if you want to see what the end boss looks like, you're gonna have to play it with your friends. You go to exclamation point Game Jam in chat. Check out Suboptimal. Swag, where can people follow the next steps for this game? How can they keep in touch if they like this game and they want more and they want to see what's next? Where's the best place they can follow you?
Yeah. So I would say follow us on the Gamejolt page. We have a Discord that we put in there with our socials being attached to it. But like 100%, we're going to be updating on Gamejolt all the time. That is where we will be.
Awesome. If you don't mind, Swag, will you come in and just spam your Gamejolt page so we can get it in the bot and then everyone can follow it?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Swag, thank you so much, and thank you for you and your team for creating such a fun game and sharing it with us. Congratulations on being one of the 3 winners. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, like, it's taking every ounce of energy for me not to just hold, down S&D and go down there. But you know what?
Oh man,
I'm hoping that people will find the boss and then tweet me pictures of it. Someone tonight play this game. I don't know what the end boss looks like, and I'm not gonna find out either. It's gonna be completely up to you.
Oh, man.
But Swag, thanks so much for coming on, man, and we wish you nothing but the best for the rest of this game and your future career, as long as everyone and as well as everyone else on your team. Thank you so much for hopping on.
Yeah, this was a pleasure, Dan. Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Suboptimal! Game Jam in chat. Look, I'm looking at the art right now, right? I don't like spoilers, but at the same time, sometimes you got to put 2 and 2 together. I'm not saying I see the final boss on the screen, but I'm not saying that either. If you guys did enjoy Suboptimal, use Game Jam in chat. Check it out. You can download it for free on the Gamejolt page. And big thank you to Gamejolt for putting this whole thing together, along with AWS, and providing this competition in which the winners got paid, of course, to create. I mean, to like take a step back, like, yeah, just fix a bug. We were kind of joking about it, but I mean, to create, it's a little mind-blowing to me. A team created a online multiplayer game that's functional and fun in 10 days. That's no small order. So speaking of non-small orders, we're up with our 3rd game, which is, I'd say it's a very, very unique game. The best way I would describe it, and we're going to have the devs come on as well. It is called Goodest Drawer, which is interesting in its own right, but it's like a mix between a social deduction game and like Magic the Gathering light. So and this is also online. So I'm creating the party right now for everyone to join. And what is the Windows key to go full screen? Shift enter, Control enter, Windows enter. I always forget that. But this is Goodest Drawer is a really unique game. The best way I can describe it, Alt enter. There we go. It's a mix. I'll let the devs speak for themselves. So we have coming on right now. This is Goodest Drawer. David will be joining us. He was the lead programmer on this. David, are you here?
Hello.
David, what's going on?
Not much. Well, kind of a lot actually, but yeah.
I mean, you just got done with the game jam.
Yes.
And this is Goodest Drawer. Tell me what Goodest Drawer is.
So originally I was actually thinking a lot about Among Us at the beginning, and like how versatile it is. Like everyone in the world, I mean, love it or hate it, everyone in the world can play it and join it so easily. I wanted to make something super accessible and easy to understand. So I was thinking I wanted to go with a card game, and we know card games such as Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, but I wanted to make something more like accessible to the public, and so I tried like more cutesy things and increased it for 2 to 6 players, because I haven't personally heard of an online card game for more than 2 people. So I came up with Goodest Drawer.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain the game, and then you put the dev sauce on top of it. So basically, right, we draw 20 cards or 20 drawings. Some of them are characters or heroes. What do you like to call them? Characters?
Yeah, characters, sketches.
And those act as like like a fighter for you. There are some spell cards as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing here, so we're gonna start with our first character. So this is one of the characters we drew. This is a small rock. It has 60 HP, and these are some of its actions it can do.
Yeah, it's attacks, it's moves.
Okay, attacks. So while we're doing this, the other 3 players in the game are doing the same thing. So we played Small Rock, David played Floorbow, Yoprock played Bean Lord, and Aiden played Yub. Okay, so now when you're designing this game, where do you start in saying, okay, how do we make a game like this fun? And you mentioned the inspiration of like Among Us. Excuse me?
Right. So I wanted to focus on simplicity first of all. I know a lot of these card games can get like caught up with stats and like all these terminologies that take a while to understand. So I just wanted to have each character have moves. And I think that's the big difference. I think in other card games, they would just say like 5 damage, 4 damage. But in this one, you'll see when it's your turn that your character has moves on the left that it can use. And each move you can read does something unique. And I think that that's what makes this game special, is that there's a lot more strategy now that you have individual characters.
So for me, like there's little bits, so like I could attack Yoprock, Aiden, and David. Sure, David went after me here, but I'm gonna throw a rock at Yoprock, who's the CEO in charge of Gamejolt, because she started to bully me. So there you go. So now this is what to me like. So there's no rules, right? Like, so I can start talking to David and Aiden, saying, hey, Aiden and David, just focus your next couple attacks on Yoprock, and I won't attack you for the next 3 turns. Is that like, that's how I'm taking this game? Is that what you developed? Did you want stuff like that to happen?
Totally.
Okay.
That's sort of the Among Us aspect that I was thinking about. I wanted to like facilitate like alliances and distrust and maybe teaming up on certain players. Looks like Aiden just died. Yeah, Aiden's also here. We co-developed the game together, so it was pretty much a partnership thing throughout the whole game jam. Okay,
so you started with hold on, I just need to send a message. I heard Yoprock is going to attack you next turn. So okay, so you started with, okay, how do we make a simplified-ish? Oh, I should have played my card there.
Yeah, exactly. That's your chance.
I'm too busy doing the diplomacy and not actually putting soldiers on the battlefield. So you started with, all right, how can I make something that's a card game that isn't too over encumbering on the stat side?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So then what was the next step?
So the next, actually, I'm gonna take it back a little bit to the real origin. This actually used to be a card game that I started making on little index cards with my brothers when we were super young. And we didn't really understand how games worked at the time, but we started making this little card game with a bunch of little wacky characters, and that's where we invented like the concept of having like unique moves. And when this game jam got announced, I was thinking of how that could turn into a multiplayer game. So basically, I looked at the cards and I looked at the online capabilities here, and I started thinking about how to make it work in a multiplayer setting.
What was it? What was the name of your game that you started as a kid? Did it have a name?
We just called it Bob.
Okay. Are there any characters in this named Bob?
There's not, unfortunately.
Okay. So it started back then, and then now you had a chance to make it, which is really exciting. So how did you start the development of this? So you had the idea in your head, right?
Right. So I started by calling up Aiden. I showed him the cards and I said, what do you think? And he liked the idea. We started thinking about how we could like rebrand it, because obviously it didn't really have a theme before. And we decided that like little doodles and like a notebook where you can like sketch and draw your own characters almost would be like a cool theme. So we started playing around with how that idea could work and made some like doodle based characters.
Okay. And like the animation reminds me a little bit of like the Binding of Isaac like intro slides. Did you take inspiration from that?
I think Aiden I'm gonna pass this one to Aiden because he did all the art.
Yeah, so I definitely really appreciate all of the work from Binding of Isaac, and I'm a big fan of the Behemoth, which they're well known for Castle Crashers and Battle Block Theater. And I've just always been into, doodling in my own notebook, and I thought it would be a really fun thing to bring that sort of style, to bring that into a video game setting. So I haven't seen that much before.
Okay. So when you were starting to design this, what is the end goal for the player? Like in the dream world for you guys, like if you see people playing this on Twitch, what do you hope they're experiencing?
I hope that they're getting upset at each other, ruining friendships. I want to see fighting and new friendships spur from alliances. That's what I hope to see.
Okay. So when you talk about like the design for this game, right? So I can already see, I mean, there's a wide range of characters, and they're not just like standard characters. Like there's David, and I want to know his story. Like he's an evil butler. So can you talk about like the lore behind this game?
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I'm allowed to reveal the lore, but I can tell you how we came up with these characters.
Yeah.
So Aiden and I made a Google document, and what I would do is I'd write in like character names and potential moves they could have, and then Aiden would go through those and he'd start drawing like what that meant to him on the characters. He'd send them back to me, and then I'd program in moves for each of them. So it was kind of very like whatever comes to mind first.
Okay. So you guys just started like throwing stuff against the wall and be like, okay, that's cool. This is cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite character or card or spell in the game?
Oh, I definitely do. Mine would have to be the thrower. I don't think we've seen him yet.
Okay.
Hopefully he shows up.
What?
Aiden, do you have a... Why? He's just cute.
Aiden, do you have a favorite character or spell in this game?
Do I have a favorite? My favorite spell is the Death Curse, because it's super useful, especially if there's a really powerful creature or a character that you want to, kill off in 3 turns easily. It happens.
Okay.
Just like that. And I love the art for that one as well.
What?
Little Grim Reaper guy.
So David, so you did the programming, Aiden, you did the art. Where did you guys get the music and sound effects from?
So the music, I hit up a friend of mine, LGM Music, on pretty much the last day, and I was like, help. And he ended up doing the music for us, and I'm very happy with the work he did. So shout out. You can get a link to him on the game's page on Gamejolt.
Okay. When you reached out to him, what direction did you give him? You're like, hey, we got this game, we need music, or did you say, hey, I need something with like a little bit of a funky vibe?
I showed him the game. I said, we need music, and he was like, I got you. He sent me something next day, and I was like, I'm into it. And that's it. I pretty much just trusted him.
That's
I'm very happy with the results.
That's awesome. So in terms of, you had to do this in 10 days, right? So what was the most difficult challenge you guys ran into in the 10 days in making this game?
So to be honest, the most difficult challenge for me started as soon as I got the email that Party Jam was a thing. And I was like, oh my God, I have to make a multiplayer game. I don't know how to do networking. So I spent like the entire month grinding, like learning networking. Obviously this is an online game, not an easy thing to learn how to do, but I spent a ton of time working at that. And by the time
wait.
Yeah.
So you didn't know how to program a network-based game?
No. I've been making games for like 10 years now, but I did not know how to do.
I'm not laughing because you don't know how. I'm laughing because you learned and executed on it at a fun game in 10 days. Like, how did you? So you don't know this. How did you start to learn it? Like, where do you go?
Oh man, I tried all sorts of things. I was like emailing like successful people. I use GameMaker Studio, so I was emailing like people on the GameMaker forums asking desperately for help. Nobody helped me, so I ended up just reading like so many articles until I finally figured out something called UDP hole punching, and I worked hard on it. Hosted the server on AWS, and that's what we're playing on right now.
How many days of research did it get you until you got to whatever the last article is? You said we got new music.
Oh, Aiden's the boss. Days of research. I do think it was like a month straight of just me going to my computer and just reading.
Okay, so you do, but you only had 10 days.
Well, when the jam got announced initially months ago, that's when I knew I had to start learning.
Okay, I got it.
By the time the jam started, I was actually comfortable with the idea of online multiplayer, thankfully, and then I could start thinking about the game.
Okay. So that's cool. So then you got it ready, and then once you launched it, like, is there anything that got cut last minute? Anything that you wanted to put in that you ran out of time? Anything you'd like to put in the future?
Yeah, and originally I told Aiden that I'd like 150 cards in the game at least.
Okay.
And yeah, that was incredibly ambitious. We only ended up getting about like 48, I think. But obviously, I think the card variety is really what makes the game so interesting, and that like the fact that everyone has like these unique powers right now, and we can all, like, there's 2 bananas guys, and they can use the move Banana Kiss, which heals somebody, so they'd be like healers. Oh, well, you just killed one of them. But yeah, more characters and variety would have been nice to have.
Okay. So for you, what are like the next steps when it comes to what's next for Goodest Drawer?
So we've been thinking about turning this into a mobile game.
Oh,
it seems like a good idea to me. Like, the setup is like nice for a phone. You could just drag a card right onto the field. I think that'd make it super accessible, similar to Among Us.
okay.
And I'd love to just see like a lot of people playing this. We're gonna do the publisher pitch, and maybe we'll bring that up on Monday.
Yeah, so let's talk about this publisher pitch. So you're one of the 3 winners.
Yep.
Yaprock, did I do something to deserve that face slam?
You betrayed me.
So real quick, so you have your pitch coming up. Have you thought about what that looks like?
Yeah, and Aiden and I are gonna super go into it tonight, but we're thinking basically we'd like to present it as like a phone game, maybe playable on the computer, and I'm mainly gonna emphasize like it's like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, but like for everyone, because I think Hearthstone, like, just like the what would you call it, like a mythological like theme, just rules out like a lot of potential players to begin with. But just a doodle theme like this, I feel like everyone is down to give it a whirl, if that makes
Everyone
sense.
doodles.
Everyone doodles.
You mean like everyone will see Gimbly and know what Gimbly's all about, just having a good time.
That's right.
And if you see James Bananigan, you know James Bananigan is just out to heal people.
Yeah. Like
What is
no?
Whoa! Can we talk about some balance issues here?
Sure.
Ultimate Sketchington.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed
So-
Aiden has just
Yeah, you
so
guys
by
might wanna
chance
team up on me.
just got an 800 HP card. Can you explain, like?
So there are some ultimate cards in the game, and my idea was that when one player gets them, you notice the music changed a while ago. That's because
yeah, I did
Aiden
notice
played
that.
like this ultimate card. And
Well,
the
how did
idea
he
is
get that?
All the players, it's just a small chance that somebody will get it. And he got it.
Small
in
chance that one of the developers gets an Omega
No.
card. Okay, so I mean, I cut you off. So there's a small chance that you get one of these cards.
And then hopefully that like helps facilitate, like, okay, we all need to like work together now to stop him. Like, he's too strong. He's kind of been slamming on this for a while now.
Okay, no, that's smart. So you, like, instead of people just like roughly around the same HP, you see Aiden slams down the Omega card, and Yaprock, myself, and you would be remiss to not at least have a conversation and say, what are we doing here?
Exactly.
Okay. So
That's what I was thinking.
So win conditions. How do you win this game?
So you win by being the last person standing. So almost like a Hunger Games situation where, like, even if you do work with someone, you're gonna have to kill them in the end.
I
Which
mean,
I think it'd be fun.
does that bother you at all? You know, like that you're creating this game where you're like, okay, everyone go against each other. You're gonna have some friends, but in the end, you know, your friend could be your demise. Like, how do you sleep at night with that?
Oh, it makes me happy, actually, knowing that I'm gonna be destroying friendships.
Okay, so,
And you killed me.
well, you know, there's lessons need to be learned. So let's talk
I've done
about
nothing but heal you. Yeah.
let's talk about this title, Goodest Drawer. Were there any other working titles that you might have considered?
Originally, we were thinking about Melee Masterpiece,
Okay.
which makes more sense. Oh, you Smash got invisibility, which makes more sense, like off the tongue, I guess. It kind of flows. But my issue was that it sounded like Smash Melee or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I wanted to go with something sillier, I think, to match the vibe. So we were thinking so hard. And Goodest Drawer is just kind of a goofy little title. Might change it eventually, but
I mean, I could see this game like I'm just trying to think about for you to add. So how many characters and cards are in this?
48, I believe.
48. For you to add, not like a DLC, but to get to the 150, how many more days? I mean, like now you have, the luxury of time. How much time do you think it would take you to get this to exactly where you want it?
I don't think it would take too much longer, to be honest. Now that all like the art's in and everything's set up and all the code's done, adding a character is not too difficult, which I'm actually pretty excited about. Like, I think like it's just the fun part left now. If I were to keep adding, making characters is the fun part for sure.
So you have like the systems in place. You just got to say, Aiden, hey, look, where's my Omega Charlie character? It was supposed to be drawn a week ago. And Aiden's like, no, you can't have Omega Charlie because I like, what's this character called? Omega Jimmy? What's the purple one called?
That's Sketchington, Ultimate Sketchington.
Yeah, Ultimate. Have you guys got into any battles about like who needs to be the most OP character in the game? Is there an most OP character in the game?
Almost. Aiden?
Well, we do have, there are currently 2 ultimate cards and they both have the same amount of HP. And as we play tested the game, there were some characters that were unexpectedly much more powerful than others, which was fun to find out just by letting it pan out that way. But I don't think there were any conflicts in that way between the 2 of us. We all agreed on everything pretty much.
No, this is a lot of fun. I mean, this is so for you guys. So now this is available to download for free. You can play it online. ! Game Jam in chat. This is Goodest Drawer. So next up, you guys have the pitch. You're gonna pitch it like a mobile game, right? Why that pivot?
I think so. Well, mobile seems pretty accessible right now. I was thinking of Among Us as well. Still had that in mind, and it just seems nice for like everyone to just get their phones and get together and play a little party game. I guess everyone has a computer now, but seems like a fit. Maybe it could be on both. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're not carrying your computer around with you all day, but you've always got a phone in your pocket.
Yeah, you could whip it out.
If you want to kill some time with some friends, it'd be easier that way.
Right. Is this are there a lot of hurdles you're gonna have to jump to port this to mobile, or is whatever you developed it in relatively simple?
It's a very good question. Not sure. I haven't done mobile yet. I hope that the publishers aren't listening right now, but I haven't really tried mobile yet. But I think I should be able to figure out easy. I know Game Maker Studio makes the port process easy. And I know I'd want to recode the whole thing anyway because it's a little sloppy. I kind of threw it together as fast as possible for the 10 days. So I'd want to redo the whole thing, and I can just make sure that it works on mobile throughout the process. It shouldn't be too bad.
So we're gonna wrap things up on my last turn, and you're gonna see why. But as we wrap things up, as this, like, what do you guys both take away from this process? So you guys had 10 games to make a game. You executed on your idea, you delivered, and you won. You're one of the top 3 winners in this party jam. So like, what do you guys individually take away from this?
Well, I'm taking away the fact Aiden and I have been making games together for like a while, and it's just so nice to like see that our projects improve every time. We've done a few game jams now, and it's just nice to see like our product getting better and better. And I think finally winning this time, or getting third, it is a sign to us that like we're ready to take it to the next step. And Aiden, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, this game is a little bit different than other games we've made in the past. We've participated in several game jams on Gamejolt as well by separate parties, separate run game jams on there. And usually we went for more far out, more avant-garde, experimental.
I mean, this is a little bit avant-garde. I mean, this is like,
absolutely. Yeah. But if you were to experience our other other games, you might think differently. And so we tried to make something more accessible this time around, and I think it turned out pretty successful. And I'm just excited to refine this project and see where it goes from there.
So, hold on, I'm just talking junk right now. So, okay. So one quick question: how did you guys meet each other? Because if this is not your first rodeo, it's not your first game that you guys created. How did you guys first get in contact?
In preschool.
Preschool, yeah.
Did you guys always know that we're gonna make games, or when did you guys figure that out?
We made our first game, I believe, in middle school. We've been friends for a long time, but we made our first game in middle school, and it wasn't good, obviously, but it was special to us, and we play it every once in a while. It's just fun.
What's the name of that one?
Oh no.
What do you mean? Oh no, that's the good stuff, man. You're
Turbo Trash Can.
Turbo Trash Can?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, tell me about it.
Okay, well, features the main character, Trash Can Stan. Trash Can Stan. He goes up and down, and you just kind of. It's like Jetpack Joyride, but
like a Flappy Bird sort of.
Yeah, but harder.
So this was in middle school.
Scarier. Right, it was.
When you made it, did you guys like keep it low key, or did you tell people at school like, hey, we got this game?
We told our friends.
Oh yeah.
One of my friends as a joke, like installed it into every computer at the school. It's so fun.
So okay, so then that's early in the process. Did you guys get any feedback from your friends like, oh, this is fun, or oh, hey, this button doesn't work?
Yeah, I mean, they were like, yeah, Turbo Trash Can, hyping us up. We've always had good supportive friends, which is nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So you guys, I don't want to say you're living your dream, but is your guys' dream to have a studio together and make the games you want to make?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anything you guys have under wraps that you're like, this is the gem we've always wanted to work on, and like it's like your Good Will Hunting script? Like we have Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, like you've been working on this for a decade, but you got to wait for that break, and then all of a sudden Goodest Drawer comes out. You're in Mystic Pizza across from Julia Roberts. You got a chance. A publisher comes to you and says, what do you got in the manila folder? And you guys say, this is, sorry, I'm hyping it up. Do you guys have a game that you want to make after this?
I mean, I could answer that question, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a lot of game concepts that we worked on for at least a couple of months, and then ended up putting away. Maybe we weren't quite ready enough to execute them, or
wait, did you say execute them?
Yeah, execute
like
the
execute like what's on the screen right now.
Oh no! Well,
no. I mean,
just like you executed us, we
I win, right?
Execute. Certain game concepts, but I think there are a lot of game concepts that we could certainly return to that are a lot of fun. So we're hoping to gain a following that way.
Well,
and,
you got one fan here, man. This was a really fun experience. I love your guys' backstory. David and Aiden, and Goodest Drawer, where can we follow your next steps in your guys' career? Where can we follow Goodest Drawer? How can we keep in touch with you for people that have been watching this and they're gonna play it but want to continue this to follow you guys even further?
You can get our @. Mine is my personal @, or for my art on Instagram is @AidenStem. So it's AIDANSTEM.
Mm-hmm.
And then also our group name is Modem Totem. So @Modem Totem.
Okay.
On Instagram.
You can send a link in the chat.
Yeah. Spam all your links,
sorry,
please.
I'm not on Twitch right now. So @Modem Totem, and then for Twitter it's @Modem Games.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for you guys. I mean, you're the first game that I didn't get a chance to see a Trash Can Stan Man, but I did enjoy Goodest Drawer. I think a lot of people enjoyed watching it. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy playing it as well. I saw some people talking about it in the chat. But thank you guys both so much for coming on, and congratulations on your success. And we're going to continue to follow this thing as you guys move on, and good luck on your pitch.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Dan.
Thank you guys. As we wrap things up here on the Gamejolt Party Jam, I would like to welcome back Yaprock, who is the CEO, the mastermind, the director, and the one that was bullying me in this game. I'd like to invite her on for some closing remarks, and also thank you, for putting this together. Yaprock, what's going on?
Hey, thank you so much for playing the games, Dan. And you can see that they're like incredible, right? No one should be able to make games like this in 10 days. So these teams have worked really hard, and it's really cool because you never know what you're gonna get when you run a game jam. I've run so many game jams. I've run some of the biggest game jams of the world. And this one by far was my favorite, honestly. I know I shouldn't pick favorites, but
Why was it your favorite?
All of the games were just so ridiculously good. Like there were no bugs. They all started. Like we were able to play through all of them, and our team actually, like, we spent last weekend just playing through all of the games together, and we had so much fun doing it, right? And like normally you never know what you're gonna get with game jam games, right?
That's awesome. So also for you, so like your job here is not necessarily over, right? So you had the tough job of selecting the 3 winners, and Swashbucklers, Suboptimal, and Goodest Drawer. So now the next step for them is you kind of get them the face-to-face, the pitch with developers. Can you talk about when do you let the birds fly on their own, or do you take them all the way through? What's the next steps for you in this process?
Yeah, well, I'm here to hold their hands through the whole process. So this game jam wouldn't have been possible without AWS and B-Mobile as well. So I feel like I'm the only one that's willing to put myself on Twitch out of the crew. But, they did so much work around the prizes and helping me put together the pitch panel, right? So we have like the biggest publishers in the world, and Griffin Gaming Partners is like a game specific VC fund. I think for me, I don't know that I'll ever be done. The cool part about running a community for creators is that they can ping me anytime they want, right? And that's kind of our whole team actually uses Gamejolt and has, people know us on Gamejolt. So we're more like public facing, and people just ping us all the time. So some of the stuff that I do with game developers, they'll come to me if they need advice on finding a lawyer or accountant or whatever. So I think with these folks, especially the ones in Seattle, I don't really see myself being done.
That's awesome. So is there a part of you that feels like kind of like the mama, these are your little babies, and 1 or 2 or all 3 of them could move on to the next step, and how does that feel I know you're very humble, but to have a hand in shoving them out of the nest a little bit?
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. I do kind of feel like the mom. I've been doing this for a very long time though. We've had some crazy things happen out of the game jams that we've hosted, right? We've had a studio that found us at GDC back in 2016. GDC is the Game Developers Conference for anyone not familiar in San Francisco. And, they found us at our booth and was like, Gamejolt, you made us millionaires, because I think PewDiePie selected their studio from the game jam that we ran together to work on his game. So it's really fulfilling to be able to create these types of opportunities for creators, especially this jam was US specific, but there's a lot of amazing creators scattered all around the world, right? And they don't always have the opportunities and the visibility into the English markets. So I see Gamejolt as the vessel for, highlighting artists, musicians, video creators, right? Content creators from everywhere.
So so for you, so now as this like party jam wraps up, like it's wrapped up, do you get to breathe for a second? Like what's next for you and what's next for Gamejolt? And now that this is wrapped, I know you have to, not have to, you're going to continue and work with the dev teams on those games. Do you have like, what's the next project for you in Gamejolt? What could we expect to see?
Yeah, so I get to dive deep into, or I should say back into our mobile app. So we built it, we spent like 5 months building our mobile app, and it's in open beta right now on both iOS and Android. So you can just download it. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. So I get to put my head down a little bit and hang out with my team and, get ready for launching our app.
I've been while we've been talking, I've been looking on the website. It's kind of like, and I'm hope I'm doing you justice. It feels like Tumblr for gaming. Is that a fair comparison? I'm sure there's more that I'm missing to it, but like with like a little bit of Discord, like I'm going through it right now. Like, how would you describe Gamejolt to someone that has never seen it or heard of it before?
Yeah, so my one-liner is it's a platform specifically built for gamers and the types of content they create, right? Whether it's games, whether it's art, whether it's videos. But we took a lot of inspiration from all of our favorite platforms, right? So like you'll see Twitter elements, you'll see Discord elements, you'll see Instagram and Facebook elements, right? And the app though functions a lot differently than the web, right? Because it's an app, but I would describe the app more as like the love child of Reddit and TikTok.
Okay.
So it's very TikTok-esque, but the type of content that we have in there, it's all based around communities, whether, it's the biggest games like Minecraft, Pokemon, Sonic, or, AA games like Among Us and Fall Guys.
Do you have a favorite community that you're a part of on Gamejolt?
Oh my gosh, those are actually like my babies. I moderate a lot of the communities, and it's really hard not to get sucked into them, and they're all so different. Like,
we're not going to judge you. You're not going to tell us what's on your left-hand side of Gamejolt.
Okay. It's so I'm kind of obsessed with the Minecraft community, to be honest.
Okay.
Because these are people that are just building like incredible structures. Like someone built Titanic, like they're building castles and like amazing cities and towns, and then they take screenshots or videos of their builds and then post them in that community, which is so fun. And then my second favorite, I think across a lot of the communities, honestly, it's like the art channels. We have just some ridiculously talented artists on Gamejolt that are like, they're either creating brand new characters from existing universes, like, like Pokemon or what have you, or they're just creating like fan art of, I don't know, like the characters they play in League of Legends or something. So it's super like inspiring to be a part of all of these communities and like see the content they're all creating.
Can I ask you something? And this is just because I've just been looking through everything. And how do you, as the person behind the scenes and in charge of this, like I haven't seen anything that like I wouldn't want to show my stream. Like how do you keep like bad stuff out? Not, but like 18 plus stuff out of it.
Shout out to Carol.
Okay.
She's our moderator support person, and she is so awesome. She is on top of it. So,
but how do you monitor? I mean, there's so many communities. How do you monitor everything?
Yeah, like we built a lot of tools in the back end, right? So we're able to detect stuff, and then users report stuff. And like I said, every single one of us, like everyone on our team, is constantly on Gamejolt, right? Like it's so we're all looking through things all the time, and the reporting functionalities that we've built do a really good job of like showing us what needs to get removed.
Got it.
And then as a user though, it's right, like obviously we have machine learning and all of that that's recommending the types of posts that you're into. So if you're not someone that wants to see 18 plus stuff, you're not going to see that.
Got it. Okay. So as we wrap here too, I have a question for you. What is your dream for Gamejolt? Like if you say, Dan, a year from now, this is what I would love to see happen with Gamejolt. What would that be?
I want every gamer ever to be on Gamejolt.
So you don't have a very ambitious, you have no ambition whatsoever.
No, just like 3 billion people on Gamejolt. That is what I'm building. So,
okay.
Maybe in a couple of years we'll have this conversation again, and I'll let you know that there's billions of people on Gamejolt.
Well, I'm gonna be checking out, because I'm looking at, I'm like, oh, there's some cool stuff to share on here. Like I would see something like, oh, I like this, and then I would like share it either like on another site. Like I would maybe like take one of the images, be like, hey, I found this on Gamejolt. This is really cool. I was unaware of it prior to our conversations. A
lot of streamers on Twitch, actually, they'll like get clips and they'll add them. Like if they made like a stream on Minecraft or whatever, they'll take the clip and post it into the Minecraft community. I think it's like an easy way is to not distribute your audience across too many platforms, right? Like like right now, you probably have to, if you want to talk, like have text conversations with your audience, you have to go on Twitter or Discord. So the idea is that you just do it all on one platform, and then you're not losing anyone in the process.
Cool. Well, as you wrap here, Yaprok, thank you so much for putting this together, and for thinking to bring me on for this, and I had a ton of fun, and all the games were a lot of fun, and we're gonna be following Gamejolt and what happens with these games in the future. But thank you so much, and I think everyone that was watching definitely enjoyed it, and thank you for all your hard work in helping these the game developers kind of go to the next couple steps.
Yeah, thank you for bringing them visibility.
My pleasure. And if there's anything I can do in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out. But wish you all the best of luck with Gamejolt, and we're gonna be following these 3 games. So thank you so much. All right, we'll see ya, ladies and gentlemen. We had some easy clap in the chat for Gamejolt, for Swashbucklers, Suboptimal, Goodest Drawer, ! Game Jam in chat. If you want to check out any of the games that you've just seen, so big thank you to them. Like I don't know their process, but they reach out and be like, hey, would you want to host this? Sure. So big thank you to them for considering us for that opportunity, and thank you guys for being here. With that being said, yo, Seattle Big Cat, thank you so much. Great stream. See you on Monday. It's just the beginning. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was basically, it wasn't that big of a leap from a New Game Thursday, except we had all the devs, all the games were vetted. I mean, it was like a really fun deal. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to stall any longer.